Hello, field instructors, and welcome to our first instructional video on supporting our field students while doing field placement. I am Dr. Ken Smythe-Leistico. I'm the Director of Field Education for the MSW program at Carlow University. And joining me today is the Director of the program, Dr. Carrie Stott.
Hi, nice to meet you all. I first want to say thank you all so much for your willingness to partner with Carlow to prepare excellent social work professionals. We really could not offer our MSW program without your help. So to get started today, I want to tell you a bit about our MSW program and how it may be unique to other MSW programs that you've worked with. We offer an MSW program as well as a dual degree MSW MBA option. Our program is committed to the promotion of reflective leadership across diverse populations and systems using a trauma-informed lens, advocacy, professional ethics, and social justice. As MSW students learn the generalist foundations of social work at first, they then go on to learn more unique skills and abilities required to promote human and social well-being. So all of our students choose a narrower focus by selecting one of three specializations: direct practice, macro practice, or school social work. School social work is our newest specialization, and it will align with the state of Pennsylvania's eligibility for the Pennsylvania School Social Work Certificate, which recently replaced the Home Visitor Certificate. Our dual degree students choose from one of two specializations, either direct practice or macro practice. I'm going to bet that most of you all know the differences, but a brief description of our specializations. Direct practice is designed for social workers seeking careers, providing direct services to clients experiencing various challenges across the lifespan within a wide array of settings. These settings include hospitals, health and mental health agencies, public safety organizations, correctional facilities, community counseling centers, and various other social service organizations. Our macro practice specialization is designed for students seeking careers in human service leadership and management, policy analysis and advocacy, and social change at the state, local, and national levels. Finally, our school social work specialization is designed for students who want to work in schools and educational settings with individuals, families, and groups. In addition to social work courses, students in the school social work specialization are required to take 2 education courses. We also offer an integrated health certificate for social workers who are specifically interested in enhancing their knowledge and skills related to integrated field of health and behavior health. This is for our direct and macro practice students. MSWs who've already graduated with their degree can return to earn the certificate as a postgraduate option for continuing education credits and 15 credits of coursework. And then our dual degree MSW MBA focuses on corporate social responsibility, ethical practices, reflective leadership across diverse populations, advocacy, professional ethics, trauma-informed care, and social justice to incorporate social work skills as well as skills related to business administration. Next slide. All right, so at Carlow, we have 2 program options. We have an in-person hybrid option and an online option. So students who select our in-person hybrid option take about 50% of their classes on campus in a traditional classroom, and these classes meet once a week. Our in-person classes are offered Monday through Thursdays and in the evenings from 6 to 8:30 p.m. So flexible for students who are working full-time or doing their placements. We do not offer 100% of our classes in person. So those students who are in the in-person hybrid program will also take a selection of courses online. We also have an online program option that offers 100% of our courses online. Some of these courses are completely asynchronous, meaning that students never have to meet in real time with the rest of the class and the instructors, and some of these classes require virtual meetings periodically throughout the semester. We have an advanced standing program for those people who have an undergraduate degree in social work, and that requires a 39 credit minimum to graduate. And we also have a traditional program for people who have an undergraduate degree in a field other than social work. That's a 60 credit minimum to graduate. And then students can be full-time or part-time in our program, depending on what's best for them and their lifestyles. We pretty much let students choose their own adventure through the program. Next slide. So we have been accredited by CSWE since June 2020. For those of you who are social workers, I'm sure you're familiar with CSWE accreditation. The CSWE accreditation is one of the reasons why we're doing this training today, because we want to make sure that our students are meeting the standards that we've been given to educate them on while they're in field with you all. Our program is also designed to prepare students for the ASWB master's exam. So that's the exam that they take for professional licensure. In the state of Pennsylvania, we call that the LSW exam, while some other states call it other things other than LSW. So our students are prepared to take that exam when they graduate, and we hope that they will. We also teach a trauma-informed approach to social work, and that's within all of our program options. So we're preparing all social workers to consider trauma and the impact of trauma as they enter the social work profession. We also pride ourselves on incorporating diversity and social justice throughout our MSW curriculum. Next slide. We are lucky enough to have 6 full-time faculty who are excellent educators, as well as people who have experience in the field of social work. So you might have worked with some of us in the past. We also have a great group of part-time faculty who work with our students regularly. We offer small class sizes. Our in-person class sizes are typically 10 to 1 or less. Our online classes are also kept small, usually ranging from 10 to 20 students per course. We also have our wonderful field director, Dr. Ken, who is working with our students one-on-one to help them find the placement that's right for them. So Ken is the one who meets with the students and places them with you, and really strives to make sure that our students are getting field placements that they're interested in, that meet their time frame for being able to be available to do those placements, and also meets their unique choice of where they want to go in the future of social work.
Thank you, Carrie. So I will be describing a few of the grants that the MSW program has been fortunate to receive. The first is a grant called CURE, which stands for Carlow Underserved and Rural Engagement Program, which is funded by the Health Resources and Service Administration. This grant aims to increase the field placement sites that are in integrative settings and in rural settings, with priorities for marginalized populations and vulnerable populations being served. This grant has a great opportunity for students to receive a stipend, which increases the likelihood and the value and interest in placements that might not always be sought after. But the grant has opened up a large number of opportunities to have our students placed in great serving organizations and new organizations to Carlow in pairing. We now have over 200 field placements that are part of our field placement project, and excited to continue to grow that network. So that is the CURE grant. A recent grant, which was gained through the Department of Education, is in partnership with our Master of Professional Counseling program, where we've created the School-Based Mental Health Training Institute, which trains students to be placed in mental health settings, particularly increasing the mental health supports in schools. Our partner in this project is Woodland Hills School District, although we have placements in other school districts as well. And this has been a great opportunity for students to specialize in school-based social work, as well as receive stipends both for the courses that they're a part of, but also for the field placement in a school setting. For those returning post-alumni, there is a training certificate that Dr. Stott has mentioned before, where 15 credits could be used to return to get that certificate. If some of these courses have been taught, they can be used towards the certificate, and students who maybe had a field placement in their graduate program that was in a school setting could also carry that forward. There are grant funds to support students returning, or alumni, I should say, returning to school to get this certificate. The last grant program that was received is through a congressional appropriation, but it's called the Carlow Community Scholars Program. And this program on campus is being used to support youth aging out of foster care that are attending college. So wraparound services and programming that occurs during breaks and holidays, and both employment as well as housing programs are available for these students. We mentioned this in the video just so that you're aware of the program, and maybe you're working with youth aging out of foster care and want to know of a program that is working with those youth to fully support them. That is one that we have here at Carlow. One mention of the online application. It is a free application to apply to Carlow. We are looking to reduce barriers. Students will have to upload all transcripts for the degrees that they've had to this point. There's a personal essay that describes the academic objectives of the student. They will upload a resume or curriculum vitae, and then acquire 2 letters of recommendation for the application. We're looking for students who have an undergraduate GPA of 3 or higher, and we do take rolling admissions, so there is opportunities to apply to start in either fall or spring. Let's switch gears to why you're here. So the field education requirements, and I know that we are covering some of these because they have changed. Every 7 years, there's updates to what we call the EPOS through the Council on Social Work Education, and we will cover a few of those as we go through this presentation. So let's jump into field education requirements. Beginning with the basics, and this is from the student side. As Carrie mentioned, we have students that come in as traditional students, which again means they did not have an undergraduate BSW certificate. It's a large number of the students that come in that are switching gears or switching programs, but often they come in from sort of complementary programs like psychology, criminology, or some of the other health social sciences. Those students who come in without an undergrad degree do an extra field placement. This comes after they've completed their foundation courses, which is usually 2 semesters of coursework. At that point, they do a field placement 1, which is 300 hours and meant to be in a broad, sort of a broad agency that does a variety of things so they can see the breadth of what social work is. After that, traditional students and all of our other advanced standing students continue to do coursework in their specialization. Again, that was direct practice, macro, or the school social work certificate, and some also completed the MBA. When they get to their final 2 semesters and had completed those specialization courses, they do 2 field placements, Field 2 and Field 3. And this is a total of 600 hours that is done over 2 semesters. And again, typically their final semesters where they're applying that advanced coursework that they've been a part of. From the field site perspective, the agencies must provide services that align with social work core values and competencies. These change periodically, and were recently one of the ads that Carlow did was a trauma-informed competency that we've added as well. Also, per the requirements of CSWE is supervision. And here there's a few terms that we use that are very specific, but they help to guide the supervision structure that would be taking place while in field. The first is a field instructor. This is someone on site that there is a supervisor that has a MSW degree. It's often that we are placing students in integrative settings and their direct supervisor may not be someone with an MSW degree, and that's perfectly okay, and that person is called a task supervisor. The daily or weekly supervision can come from a task supervisor, but the requirement is that at least once per month that someone with an MSW degree meets with the student. If this is someone else within the agency, which is preferred because they both know the agency and they'll also know the work that's being done, this person is the field instructor that would meet with them monthly. There are instances in which there is not someone within the agency that has a MSW degree. And in this circumstance, we assign a Carlow faculty liaison supervisor to that person when this is the case. So we have fail-safes in all circumstances, but again, the ideal is if supervision is coming from within the agency. Want to make a point that with changes post-COVID, work-based field placements are allowed and oftentimes encouraged because it allows a student to stay within their current work and receive credit time, credit towards field placement while they're doing their job. Just to fully share that it used to be that a student had to do work outside of their role and have different supervision when they were doing a work-based placement. Now students actually can do their work provided it meets the social work values and competencies and be paid for the time that they are in placement as well. Switching to contracts, timesheets, and assessments, these are some of the questions that we often have from field instructors and task supervisors as to what things will I have to fill out. And the first you do in conjunction with the student takes the first go at the initial contract, listing out their basic information, their placement site, and then outlining their anticipated number of days and hours that they would be in placement to create a schedule that we know before they go into placement. Additionally, the student will list any conflicts that will occur throughout the semester, meaning fall breaks, spring break, those types of things, so you know when a student might not be available for placement. But this happens early in the time that you are setting up your placement. Often it can happen even before the field placement begins. Also, a part of this process is a link that is on the second page of this form that you will have a link to fill out the application to be a task supervisor or field instructor. This is a requirement of CSWE to ensure that we have the types of backgrounds and placement requirements, again, at MSW, that would be working with that student. We're working on adding more MOUs with our field placement sites to solidify our partnerships moving forward. And one question that field sites may have is about liability. Students take out Carlow liability that which they pay for each semester that they're in field, which covers the student while they're in placement. The next item that task supervisors and field instructors help the student with are our monthly timesheets. This is incumbent on the student to fill in their hours for the given month and then asking you to sign off. I do just want to point out that another change that occurred post-COVID is that students also can collect field hours for the time that they're doing their seminar work. So the time that they're in seminar, the readings that they do for the course, and other professional development opportunities count towards their time. So you may see that on the timesheet as well. And we ask students to parse out those that are done directly for work and those that are done for class so that you can see that. One hallmark assignment that these students complete while they're in field placement is the competency integration plan. This replaces what used to be the learning contract, which sometimes was challenging for students to predict what activities that they would do throughout the semester. But what we've done is taken a new project-based form that introduces the 10 competencies to the student, but also to the field site. And in the beginning of the semester, they share the overview of all 10 competencies and some samples of how students have met those competencies in the past. And throughout the semester, it's the job of the student to then move tangible items from what they've done to the integration plan. And by semester's end, they will complete at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 examples of how they met that competency. And throughout the semester, hopefully this is a dialogue. Oftentimes we are asked from the field instructor perspective, what should I be doing during supervision? And if you want to use your supervision time to continually revisit this integration plan, it would be helpful to then see maybe there are particular competencies that they're not having ample opportunities to showcase. And perhaps there could be some assignments or tasks done within the field placement site that works towards those competencies. Additionally, if there are certain ones that are just difficult to meet in the field placement realm, it's perfectly acceptable for the student to do an assignment through the seminar portion of the class to also work towards demonstrating some of those comps. As an example, in fields 2 and in fields 3, each student is required to do an assignment related to a policy, as well as an assignment related to evaluation, which sometimes are more difficult ones to uncovered during the time that they're in field placement. wanted to point out that the rubric for grading the integration plans asked for students to name concrete and specific examples of how they met the or demonstrated the particular comp. For example, it's not enough for a student to say that I use the literature to help guide my work, but perhaps they can give a specific example of what articles they used or a class that they took part in that they used for a specific client to increase the quality of services that were rendered. An additional piece is the midterm assessment. This is a quick look into how the student is performing while they're in placement. And here we look for some basic skills and how they are performing. So as one example, you could see oral communication. Are they effective in communicating with you as supervisors and with their clients? And this is a PDF form that the student will be sending to you at midpoint. At the bottom, it lists out the competencies, and what's cut off here is number 10, but it is there. And what we're asking you to see is if at this point, at that midterm point, are there any competencies that you haven't been able to see or you're concerned that would be able to be demonstrated? So sometimes it can be, you know, a little bit confusing as to what we're looking for, but again, this is the ones that have not been met. As we get to the end of term, then students will be asking or sending out a link, to Microsoft Forms, the final field instructor evaluation of students. For those that are in field 1, this will be their generalist practice evaluation. As students move into fields 2 and 3, they should be sending one specific to their specialization. So if you are working with a student in a school setting and you know they're part of the school social work certificate pathway, make sure that the instructor form that comes to you is one that says school social work. As it relates to what we're looking for, students will be rated on a 1 through 5 scale, and the scale is important to the accreditation of our program. And here, note that students that are in field 1, the benchmark is that they should be meeting expectations for an intern, and this should be a 3. We look for and are expecting our students that are in fields 2 and 3 to take that leap. And the expectation for our program is that they would be functioning at a level that there would be a 4 or a 5. If you throughout this semester feel like there might be competencies where the student isn't quite there, isn't at that 4 or 5, I encourage you to talk with the students about tasks that they're doing or other roles that they could play that supports that particular competency. Again, with the competency integration plan, this could be a tool that you use in completing the student's final evaluation. It may be that you don't see every item that they've done, but they may have applied some of their schoolwork or their courses to the work that they've done, or they may have taken part in a policy project or something else as a part of the seminar that was a part of the program. That is the forms. Wanted to say thank you again for all the work that you do. We know it takes a lot of time to support students, and we're hopeful that our students come into your agencies and add to it versus take away. We also, as a thank you to the work that you do, want to add you to our list for professional development opportunities. So you will be added to our listing for our ongoing trainings that are provided, often with CEUs, that we do ongoing as a part of our program. And those are CEUs that you could take part in if you have a student placement for that semester or not. We hope to grow our network of those that are supporting our program. And lastly, we have a new Carlow Social Work Instagram account, which keeps information going from our program to the community, as well as shining a light on our students, our faculty, and other programs that are part of the Carlow program. And with that, again, thank you. And I'll let Kara, if there's any last items that you wanted to say to our wonderful field instructors and task supervisors.
Just thank you so much for your dedication to the students. And if ever you need anything from us, don't hesitate to reach out and ask, or ask for guidance if you come across any issues or concerns. Thank you so much.
Thank you and have a great day.